Welcome to Girl Talk. We'll get your lederhosen out because we're talking Oktoberfest today with the folks at Great Dane. We're downtown at the Great Dane Brew Pub, and Oktoberfest will be starting really soon for you beer lovers. Who's a beer lover here?
Hi.
Oh, wow. Apparently me.
It's okay, Crop Circle Wheat is my favorite.
Yeah.
Crop Circle Wheat?
Yep, the Great Dane's Crop Circle Wheat.
We're going to meet with their head brewmaster and hear the story of what inspired him to celebrate Oktoberfest here at actually not just this Great Dane, but all of them. But a little aside, I was reading about Oktoberfest, and Adidas has come out with a new shoe for Oktoberfest. Did you see this?
I saw this.
Go ahead and tell.
It's a shoe that is water repellent.
For beer? It's beer repellent.
And if you get sick, if you have a little too much fun at Oktoberfest, your shoes will be good to go.
So you can like put off on your shoes and they'll be
I think, yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to say it, but
Why do you think I made you say it?
I win.
it's pretty hilarious, though. I mean, come on, like that is.
This is honestly the first second in my life that I've heard of anything this crazy and obnoxious and awesome. I love it. All of those things.
All for the tune of around $240, I think is what I saw as the price tag for these new Adidas shoes.
Man,
well, it's better than having to replace your other shoes.
I suppose.
You know.
Yeah. Well, Oktoberfest is a beer lover's dream and a shoe lover's nightmare, I suppose.
That was great, man. That was excellent.
We're also talking about Reach a Child. Have you guys heard of this organization before today?
A little bit, not much.
A little bit?
Yeah, it wasn't much.
What do you know about it, Lisa?
Just reach a child.
Just reach a child. Well, we're going to learn more about it, thankfully, with Eric.
Yep.
Who's a friendly face, but he's introducing some new stuff to us.
It's a really cool organization from the little bit that I do know, and I know you guys know this about me, but I had a house fire growing up, and it was a very difficult experience because you have these, people dressed up and coming into your house, and it's scary for a kid. And Eric's going to tell us a little bit more, but they've kind of found a way to bridge the gap between children and first responders, policemen, firemen, and to kind of use something, maybe a book. That's
the power of a book.
The power of a book to kind of make kids feel a little bit easier and distracted.
Yeah.
And, I just think about if I would have had that, what kind of impact that could have made. So I'm sure they've made a huge impact here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I love that it is a Wisconsin nonprofit. I mean, they're really making some incredible headway and really making a difference for kids. Like you said, it's scary. It's scary for adults, too. You've got loud noises and chaos, and
it's your home.
And it's your home, too.
Right, your home, your family, or whatever, situation you're in. Definitely.
Right, so they have an event coming up, and we'll also learn how this program works and how you can help, too, because it really does make a difference for one kid at a time. So love that whole idea.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a little fancy event, too. I just kind of heard, little birdie told me that.
Yeah, a gala.
Gala is out there, yeah.
And I asked, is it a gala or a gala?
I don't know.
I think I say gala.
I say gala, too.
But gala sounds very fancy.
That sounds better.
I like that more.
Yeah.
I have to retrain my pronunciation.
Janet wins. Gala it is. Gala it is. So we'll get to look forward to hearing a little bit more about how that's going to work and how that can help and how we can help, right? How you can help.
And speaking of fanciness, we're going to talk to Moments to Cherish Bridals as well. And they've always got so much going on. But I think right now they're thinking homecoming is big because kids, just went back to school. I loved homecoming. Did you guys go to homecoming in high school?
I liked homecoming a lot. I think that was very exciting because it makes going back to school extra exciting.
Yeah.
And it makes you have something to look forward to amongst the newness of maybe, being in high school for the first time or having new friends to make and new teachers to have. All of a sudden, you get to have a place where you all come together and walk the walk and talk the talk.
And I always loved getting dressed up with your girlfriends, and you all do each other's hair and makeup at somebody's house, and you're playing music, and you go to the football game. So
what I'm loving these days is you don't need to have a date.
Yes.
It's really kind of a group thing.
Yep.
And that's
it's becoming
different.
more and more standard.
Yeah, I love that idea. You don't like anybody to feel like they're being left out because they didn't get asked or whatever. Right. So I love that idea.
Yeah, it's a party, so you just go with your friends and enjoy yourself, right?
It's perfect. Well, they're coming up next.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited to chat with them. This is Girl Talk, so stay with us. Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are at the Great Dane downtown. I'm going to call it the Great Dane DT. How about that?
That works.
Like that? Okay. We're going to chat with them a little bit later. We love this place and we love coming back here. But first we have Arlene DeForest with Moments to Cherish Bridals in Verona. Thanks so much for being here.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you have been staying busy What's all
That-
new at Moments to Cherish Bridals right now?
Right now, we have kind of variated our hours a little bit.
Okay.
We're not going to be open on Sundays, and Mondays it's only by appointment
Okay.
because of some fluctuation things
Sure.
that are going on. Plus, it's our down season, kind of down season, so.
But it's homecoming season too, is that right?
Right. The girls are starting to really come in now. That day will be here before you know it, so get in to get your best choices.
Is it typically the end of September, would you
Yeah,
say?
end of September, October.
Okay, so it kind of
Yeah.
varies. Not every
Right.
school is the same weekend?
Right.
Okay.
It always amazes me how the kids just get back into school and then it's homecoming.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
it's just like, bam, you're right there. Last time we talked about homecoming and we looked at some dresses, we were seeing some midriff, and I'm wondering
Right.
what the trends are.
Yeah, the two-piece is very much
The two-piece.
in trend, and a lot of the two-piece, the skirts actually have pockets, which the girls love. But then the other thing is just more of kind of the poofy at the bottom, you know.
A flared skirt?
Flared skirts, a lot of floral this year. And,
floral.
you know.
Is the
lots
poof
of-
long? Is it more like
No,
a...
it's short.
It's short. It's a
Yeah.
short poof.
Right.
That is so interesting to me how things change so quickly. Because, you know, I'm thinking back to when I was going, you know, homecoming dress shopping or prom shopping, and those weren't even options available to have the midriff or like the short poof.
Yeah.
No, it was like sparkly and long.
Right.
And yeah, evening gownish almost, I remember.
Yep.
But there, a few years before I was of that age, there was that floral. So maybe
Right.
that's all made its full
Kinda
circle
All
now.
circle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but certainly not in two pieces. That was something we saw at all.
You know, it's kind of risky not knowing what the high schools are going to allow as
Yeah,
far
I
as
suppose.
with
Yeah.
the girls that aren't quite as tall. It works out great because it's just very little skin that's
Yeah.
showing in the waist.
Yeah.
But then there's some dresses where they have it looks like a two-piece, but it's actually a all-in-one.
Ah.
They've got like netting over
Oh,
the
cool.
That's
tummy
nice.
area.
So you don't have to worry about
Right.
pulling it up.
Right.
Sometimes it's fun to have your outfit for a really special night be a bit more complicated and fun to mess with as you
Right.
continue kind of futzing all night long to continue pampering yourself in those moments. It can be really fun. Speaking of pampering and getting in to see you, the lady who pampers the young ladies, do they need to make an appointment, especially with your changed hours?
It's very important to set up an appointment because of the simple fact we only have 2 dressing rooms.
Ah,
So,
yes.
I mean, we will take walk-ins, but they're going to have to wait for a dressing room
Right.
Who
if
wants to
need
do
be.
that when you have your like super great dress? You want to get in there and put it on, right?
Right.
Well, I
So
know,
make an
Arlene,
appointment.
you take pride in having really great service.
Right.
So you can only really do that
Yeah.
if you
The
stay
boutique
with people.
experience.
Exactly, yeah. Speaking of the boutique experience, I was looking at your website and you rent tuxes too.
Correct.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So
we're
when,
kind of like a one-shop stop for those that want to, use us.
so
That's
guys
perfect.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something else that you guys do is obviously wedding. And I was just reading an article the other day, and it was kind of talking about how right now is the season. We've got a couple month gap right before engagement season picks up again.
Correct.
And it's just going to be craziness, and it floods your Facebook page with everybody so happy and getting engaged during the holiday season. But something that is a really good reminder, because when I first met you, Arlene, this really surprised me, the amount of time that you should allow. So let's
Right.
say you get engaged in November or December, how long or what's the window you should really consider that you'll need for a dress?
You need at least 6 months, if not 7 months, for wedding dresses. Bridesmaids, you're looking at 4 months, 4 to 5 months. When you're talking about if you're getting married in the summertime, which is a lot of times really busy, we definitely plan on the extra because the companies are that busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to get that part of the planning out of the way first, because that can
Right.
be really like the most important part to the bride and the
Right.
bridesmaids is how they're looking and how they're feeling that day.
Right.
So call Arlene. She'll help.
Wonderful. Well, Arlene DeForest with Moments to Cherish Bridals, thanks for being here today.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it, and we'll be back with more Girl Talk right here at the Great Dane after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. Well, Oktoberfest is in the air right here at the Great Dane. Later on, we're going to learn what we have to look forward to. Right now, though, we're talking about a program that is super interesting. I'm really excited about this. We know that when first responders show up to a critical situation, they have thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of equipment. But we'll learn that a book can be priceless. And here to tell us about that is Eric Salzwedel about Reach a Child. Thanks for coming in today, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us about this program called Reach a Child.
Yeah, Reach a Child's been around for 10 years, and it was started with a very simple concept, and that concept was to get children's books to first responders to give to kids in traumatic situations. Whether it's a car accident, a house fire, a domestic dispute, when they can have a book to give a child, it not only comforts them, but distracts them from the chaos happening around them.
And it's worth mentioning, this is just a Wisconsin nonprofit, right?
Yeah, we're based right here in Madison, and our goal is to get our program to first responders throughout the state of Wisconsin. And essentially, our program is a backpack, much like this, and we want to get this in every first responder vehicle throughout the state. And inside of this, what we call is a reach bag, are age-appropriate and vetted children's books, as well as drawstring backpacks that they can give children.
And I've heard those backpacks are useful for not just the book, but any belongings that a child might need to take with them.
Yeah, the officer, first responder, can give a child a book in a drawstring backpack, and again, yes, put anything that they would like in it to take with them.
And they get to keep these things.
That's great. So what impact is Reach a Child making, like right here in Madison even?
Yeah, and so as our goal, as we expand into more and more departments that are interested in our program, I should mention there's no cost to first responders to receive our program. We heavily rely on community support to fund this program. But of course, the major thing is children are comforted and distracted. We know it helps to eliminate a little bit of the PTSD in children because they're focusing on the book and they're sitting there with a first responder and it turns that bad situation into somewhat of a more positive one. But two, also, first responders have come back to us stating how much that they feel a little bit better about their jobs because we know they're never called out on a good call. Right. Some of them don't have kids and don't know how to work with kids, and when they can have something like this to have that positive impact on children they come across in these situations, it affects them all, and it's a very positive impact.
I actually read that very thing, Eric, when I was reading about stories about this and the impact. I expected it to be stories about the kids, and it was actually a lot of the first responders saying, this helped me break the ice with the children.
Yeah, and I should quickly mention too is more and more actual police departments nowadays are actually utilizing our program as a community initiative to break down barriers between first responders and children just by offering children a book of ours, even if they are not in a traumatic situation, just to give them a book. And so they'll say, hey, next time you see me, come back to me, I'll get you another book.
Oh, that's so amazing. And I know for me personally, I had a house fire growing up, and it was just a very scary experience. And people are dressed up and all these equipment, and it's scary for a kid. So having that way to kind of bridge that gap can just be so powerful and amazing. And I'm sure a lot of people have experiences that they can relate to as well. If somebody does want to help, what can they do if they're watching this?
Yeah, of course, as you're watching this, most people are like, well, I have a lot of children's books.
Yeah.
So we know that is, we can always take in new and gently used books. We do heavily rely on community support in terms of monetary donations to help fund our program to more and more departments. If there are some individuals that's like, hey, I would like to actually fund our particular local first responders, we can work with them to help support or sponsor that. And of course, we have a few major events that we put on each year that help to raise these necessary funds so we can get our program immediately to first responders who reach out to us. It's like, we want to get this program.
We have about a minute left, Eric. Let's talk about one of those upcoming events called Evening in Red and Blue. This is a gala.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. So this is a very unique and very dressed up. It's our largest fundraiser of the year. And so our Evening in Red and Blue Gala is taking place on Saturday, September 23rd, so coming up here very soon. Tickets are on sale until actually Friday, September 15th. Tickets more than likely will not be sold at the door, so please purchase your tickets ahead of time. They can do that right on our website, which is reachachild.org/events. And it's going to be a dressed-up event. Tickets are $75 in advance, or $125 per couple. That includes hors d'oeuvres, dinner, dessert. It includes wine, beer. We're going to have silent auctions, live auctions. We're going to have a wine pull. It's going to be a great evening, and we're doing it at the brand new Fitchburg Fire Station. And we're pulling all the fire trucks out of the bay, and we're going to transform that bay into a gala. So it's going to be a really unique experience.
Absolutely.
You guys look like you're dressed and ready to go.
Evening in red and blue, right here. You're ready to go.
Alrighty, well, if you'd like to help out, you can find more information at reachachild.org. And again, those tickets, stop going on sale on Friday the 15th. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
We're Girl Talk, and we'll be right back.
Hi, and welcome back to Girl Talk. We are so happy to be here downtown at the Great Dane. Such a lovely environment. We're in the billiards room right now. It's newly renovated. The feel is the same, but definitely some newness around us. It's always got a sharp feel around it in a really good way. So enjoying our time here. Have a new face with us today. I'm very excited to introduce Rob Lobriglio, Head Brewmaster, Vice President, and you can switch that around, Vice President, Head Brewmaster. Rob, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You have such a cool job.
Thank you.
Coolest
I enjoy it.
So it's fall, and we're excited because there's a lot of things that have to do with beer in the fall. They have to do with a certain month coming up, October, and a certain celebration that happens. There's some history, there's some fun beers. So tell us about why did the Great Dane decide to celebrate Oktoberfest?
Well, even though we like being innovators in our approach to our beers and our food, we also are really steeped in tradition. And as the world's biggest beer festival, Oktoberfest is something that we wanted to bring a little piece of here to Madison.
Oh, thank you, by the way, for doing that.
You're very
Now,
welcome.
a little birdie told me that you are going to Oktoberfest here shortly, the big one?
I am, actually. It's interesting because it's the 30th anniversary of the first and only other time that I went there.
That's cool.
Thank you, yeah, and it was on that trip that basically I became inspired to become a brewer.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's almost like 30-year anniversary of my brewing career also.
Yeah, that is so significant, and I think the Great Dane probably appreciates that inspiration that you had 30 years ago because you're here working with them. So that's so exciting. Well, have fun and travel safe, and if you happen to have some extra tickets,
Send them our way.
That's right. Girl Talk loves Oktoberfest.
Rob, what was it about your Munich trip that inspired you, and what can beer lovers here look forward to?
Okay. Well, I had always just drank basically the generic beers, and my brother was living in Germany, and when I went over, besides the beers that I tried at Oktoberfest, I also got to try a beer called Aventinus, which actually is a Dunkel Doppel Hefeweizen Stark beer.
Bless you.
Which is, it's basically a double bocked wheat beer. And I was really blown away by that. And when I came back, I decided to start home brewing, and then I went to school for brewing, and that was the beginning of it all.
Wow, okay.
And for the beers that we produce here at the Great Dane, the interesting thing is that the Oktoberfest style of beer is actually called a Märzen or March beer. And it's beer that's produced in March and then allowed to lager or condition over the hot summer in the cool caves of Germany. But what's happened over the years is that the beer that and then it's brought out again for Oktoberfest. And over the years, they've actually kind of morphed the Oktoberfest beer into a much lighter version of what it used to be, and it's not really that Märzen style anymore. But what we do is we brew the traditional Märzen style. So it's a kind of copper to amber colored beer, slightly malty, slightly sweet, but not so heavy, still very drinkable, something that feels good in a liter.
So you're trying to stay authentic to the fest.
Yeah, we like to produce the style of Oktoberfest beer that you would have found there 50, 100, 200 years ago, not what you currently get.
That is so cool. And kind of talking about that authenticity as well is something that we know and love the Great Dane for is your food as well, in addition to the beer. Are you guys going to have any kind of German-inspired food for Oktoberfest as well?
Definitely.
Okay.
We're going to have 4 specialties that are available for the entire Oktoberfest period.
Awesome.
It's going to be our Jaeger Schnitzel, it's going to be our Bavarian chicken sandwich, our Schnitzelwich, and then new this year will be our Berlin currywurst. Yeah, and so it's going to be available for the entire period of Oktoberfest. And the interesting thing is that so many people think that Oktoberfest is in October, but really Oktoberfest always starts 2 weeks before the first Sunday in October. And then it ends that first Sunday in October. Now, since the German reunification, they've modified it so that if it happens to fall on the first or second, that first Sunday, they extend it so that they can also have it include the reunification day And so East and West Germany get to celebrate at Oktoberfest if they
Together.
want. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for that great history. I mean, all of those things you said in that last statement and the prior with the utilizing caves to cool the beer and bring, I mean, all of those things, I had no idea. And I've been able to learn bits and pieces about beer and its history throughout my life, but that's just new. So thank you. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that love that information, especially knowing that Oktoberfest, we don't have to wait until October. It's actually coming now. There's food specials coming with it. I just want to say, by the way, the Schnitzelwitch, that's like one of my favorite words I've ever heard. I don't even know what that means.
So much.
Schnitzel's like the
Can't get over
little
how good schnitzel
German
is.
noodle guys. Those
Spätzle.
twist Spätzle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
Schnitzel's
kind of
good.
my
Sausage.
favorite.
I love that too.
There's a lot out there to learn, but they all have really fun ways to say it. So Schnitzelwitch, and I'm gonna have to come and try that. So I know it's coming up sooner than maybe people thought. So tell us when things are happening. When can they get the beer? When can they get the specials? Where is it here? Is it all the Great Danes?
Okay.
What's the plan?
The beer and the specials will certainly be available all the time at all the Great Danes for the period of Oktoberfest, which
Okay.
this year specifically is September 16th to October 3rd.
Okay.
Normally,
Very
I think
soon.
it would have closed on the 2nd, but again, because of German reunification, they're extending it to the 3rd this year.
Fabulous.
Yeah, better for us.
That's right. Better for the people who want to drink Oktoberfest.
We promise the beer will be on tap that whole period, as well as the food specialties, but it is our most popular specialty beer of the entire year.
Oh, wow.
So we can't promise it'll be on much after it,
And when
But-
it's gone, it's gone.
and when it's gone, it's gone.
And
that's
it's only
okay.
on tap. You can't get it in cans or bottles either, right?
Only on tap.
So you got to come in.
Yeah.
Come in early too. It sounds like.
Yeah. Wow, so much to know about Oktoberfest. It's coming right around the corner. Make sure to come to the Great Dane, any of the locations downtown too, to celebrate Oktoberfest. Eat the Schnitzelwitch, drink the Oktoberfest beer, and hopefully we'll get to check in with Rob after his trip to Munich and the Oktoberfest in Germany.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I'd
that'll
be happy
fun.
to report.
Good. Have a great time, safe travels, and thank you so much, all of you out there, for joining us for Girl Talk, and see you next time.